Hey, today I'm going to do a comparison between the Yemsd, the Freepi, and the Sperax walking pads. I'm going to show you all the similarities, the differences, and which one I overall prefer. I'll also rank them from best to worst in my opinion. So I've been walking about 10 to 20,000 steps for the past year, which has helped me lose about 40 pounds. So these have been a huge help for me. So I'm going to show you my step count for today at 13,000. Still have a couple hours left. Kind of aiming between 12 and 15,000 as of right now. So these have been awesome to use. I use them while I work from home at my standing desk, or as well in our family room as needed, while we're watching TV and stuff. So I'm gonna go over everything about these. So let's start with the remotes. So these are the three remotes. This is the Sperax, this is the Freepi remote, and then this is the Yemsd remote. Now the Yemsd and the Sperax remotes do not come with the batteries. They both require 2 AAA batteries. So keep that in mind with those ones. And the Freepi comes with the battery already in it. This thing is like really hard to open for me. It's probably because I don't have nails, but apart from that, it's nice. You got a little thing that you can put on your wrist, except our cat has chewed through it already. Anything silicone he loves to chew on. Now this one, the Freepi, is the only one with the pause feature. So the other two have the same features. This one's a little bit different. So first thing we're gonna test is the actual like sound of them. See which one is the quietest. Now something funny that I've realized is, I don't know if this is to do with they both use batteries, but the Sperax remote works for both this one and the Yemsd. So just turn on both of them. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. I think it might just be the fact that they both have batteries or something, but let's see. So we're gonna go ahead, oops, turned it off on accident. Let's turn back on. So they both, or this one starts out at 0.6, whereas the Yemsd starts out at 0.8. This one goes up by 0.2. The other one goes up by 0.1. So we're gonna go up to a 2-point speed. Show you how loud it is. Now I'm also using it on carpet, so that might make a difference. But I'm gonna show you something that I highly recommend doing if you have it on carpet. So what I got are these furniture sliders, and this literally makes such a huge difference. First off, it elevates it a little bit more, so the belt isn't rubbing against the carpet as much, or you don't have to really worry about that. And so that's one of the huge pluses, but the main thing is for moving them around. So I have them on the bottom of all of them, and I can just move them around with my foot a lot easier. Slide them under the couch, slide them under my standing desk, move them out of the way so I can move a chair there. So it makes a huge difference and just very nice. Now since this one was already on, let's go over to the Yemsd. Maybe we're gonna use the Sperax remote for it. Starts at 0.8. We're gonna go up to 2.0. So since it goes up by 1 or 0.1, it's gonna take longer. You can see this one's cruising at 2.8 over there. So the max speed on this one, I believe the max speed on all three of them is 3.8. So this one's a lot quieter, but it also feels a lot slower for a 2.0 compared to that 2.0. So go ahead and turn that off. You can rotate through the modes. It goes through all those: speed, distance, time, and calories. Now lastly, let's go over the Freepi, since this one is the most unique. So it starts at a 0.6, also goes up by 0.2. Now, like the Sperax, I will say that this 2.0 feels quite a bit faster than the Yemsd. So I was just on the Yemsd, and you'll probably be able to just notice how much of a difference this one is in speed. This one's also, like, I would say one of the quietest between the three. I would say if the Yemsd and this one were at the same speed, that this one would be quieter. Now this one has the pause feature, so I can go ahead and pause it. If you need to like go get a drink, go to the bathroom, anything like that, you can pause it and then you can continue your workout so it still continues keeping track, and then you just press play. Now a nice thing as well is that it doesn't start at the speed you're going at, it starts at the starting speed of 0.6. So just keep that in mind. Now let's turn this off. So another thing is they all are about the same length, except for the Yemsd is the shortest out of the three of them. So it is a little bit shorter. I had this one the longest, so it did take a little bit getting used to with that shorter length, but it's not a big deal. And then the length of the cords are all about 4 feet as well. And then the power switch is on this side. Now, when I talked about moving them around with the furniture sliders, you can also lift them up, and they have wheels on the front for all three of them. So if you're moving them on tile or anything, you can just lift them up, move around easier with that. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the oil. So you're going to want to oil the belt every so often. It's recommended to do it once or twice, 1 to 2 times, or I should say once every 1 to 2 months, depending on how frequent you use it. That's if you use it a lot, to add oil that often. Now, the oil are the same for the Sperax and the Yemsd, but the Freepi has this like extender thing, which makes it super easy and super nice because you can just kind of lift up the belt without having to loosen it on the back with the screw. You can kind of just go ahead, lift it up, and get the oil all the way to the middle of the belt with just that. So that's super nice, and I actually just use this for all three of them. I think it's a great little feature that makes it a lot easier. And yeah, and then how to realign the belt as well. I had to do this for the Freepi, and so it's the same idea for loosening it. It's going to be on the back here, and on the instructions it shows right here which way to go. So ours was deviated to the right, so we followed the instructions for the picture on the bottom. So we loosened this side like that way, and then this side that way. And basically what I recommend is to do quarter turns or half turns, turn it on, and then wait for it to adjust, and then you can walk on it as well, or just watch it as it adjusts. Then you can do another turn until it gets to that position that you want it in. This is the one that I've had to adjust the most out of the three, and it might just be because of the way I walk, I'm not sure, but it's not that hard to do. And last thing I want to talk about is the Freepi has these 2 foot pads that you can actually make it inclined, so that's a cool feature for it. So those yellow foot pads right there, you can remove them. You have to add them on at the beginning anyways, so you can remove them and put these on, and it's going to be like a 4 incline, the same as if you had a 4 incline, which is a cool feature. So if you want an incline, that's another plus to it. So with all that being said, all 3 of these are great options. They work well. I think with all those tests and all those things that I talked about, I would have to give the Freepi as my #1 choice. And then second, I would give it to the Yemsd. And then last, I would give it to the Sperax. But they're all great options. Can't go wrong with any of them. So, yeah.